Hey, good morning, Spencer. This is a demo video for you for your Magic of Myth from 7 Chambers and Veracity Labs with the Veracity Labs crystal chamber and a recessed blade that I made for you. Alright, so we're going to go over my desk. I'll show you how to operate everything, show it all off to you in detail, and then get this out in the mail to you on Monday. Thank you for your business. Alright, Spencer, let's go over your Magic of Myth lightsaber here, and then I also have a recessed blade that I made for you, 1-inch diameter recessed blade. Got a little set screw right there that holds the PCB holder exactly where it needs to go. So we'll light that up here in a second. I'm just going to put this off camera. All right. This is installed with the very cool Veracity Labs crystal chamber that we'll go through here in a second. You've got a KR Sabers lit PCB here. This is one of 2 that you have. This is a 2-button setup, so power will be back here, auxiliary will be back here, or up front rather. I talked about this before in a different video of these new moms. I really like the spring switches here because this is different from the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 versions that we saw. So it's a nice spring-loaded system here. You've got your red and green LEDs here, or your triangles rather, but they do light up. You're going to want to take your thumb, push this back. I made this tight about right here on purpose so it just wouldn't slide out when you didn't want it to. So it's going to take a little bit of oomph to push it in and a little bit to push it back, but that is how you reach your kill switch. Although I did solder on the red switch and this little piece right here to the reveal board, I didn't put the brass pieces on. I left those in your box for you to do however that you see fit. All right, I don't typically do those. I'm not very good at putting those in there and having them stay in. I've had issues with that before. So that sheet of brass stuff right there will be in your box, and when you're done you can just slide that back. All right, if you ever need to get to the board, you can take off this entire section as one piece. We're just going to unscrew this here. In this section you'll find a speaker pod, a removable speaker pod that has a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost dark side speaker. I used this vented pommel. I like this one with the hidden vents so you don't see all the holes. All right, so you take that out. That gives you access to your Proffie board right here. You've got your micro USB, your SD card. You can access everything from right here. You don't need to move the board. You've got your K-Sith LS6 sound phone on here for your Luke. This is the classic version. There is also a copy of the config file on the SD card. And this is how you charge the Saber. All right, so you're gonna need the 1.3mm adapter for the normal, 2.3mm recharge port. This can all be found on the custom Saber shop. If you need a link to that, let me know. I'm happy to provide that. All right, but then when you're done charging or messing with your board, we'll just screw this back on. Screw this down all the way. Come over here. You're going to take your grenade section off to get to the crystal chamber. I'll put some thread grease on here for you. So if you see what that's just thread grease right there to help it smooth out the process. All right, you've got a blade side connector in there. That's what that piece looks like. We did go with the idealized version. I asked you that at the beginning. You said you wanted the idealized grenade section, so that's what you've got. All right, your Veracity Labs crystal chamber. So I did put a real quartz crystal down here. I put some brass mesh over these 2 windows. I did put a 6-pixel accent strip up here, and of course this being your second KR Sabers lit PCB. All right, so again, we'll come over here, flip this back, flip the kill switch. If I turn this light off here, if I can reach it, you can see your red and green LEDs, obviously, your crystal chamber, and then the 6-pixel accent strip up here is doing a little something different. All right, so everything is doing its own thing. This is the cave scene sequence for your red and green LEDs. We'll turn it on. When the Saber's on, I like to keep the red on but make the green pulse. Of course, you're welcome to change that to whatever you like. I just like that I just like how that looks. This is all lit up. Your crystal will go to matching the blade. And then we have kind of a scrolling effect up top for the 6-pixel strip. And then you have twist off. All right, I don't put twist on the Sabers, especially with this one, because it could accidentally go off when you're putting this on. Now with the grenade section, it's a little bit tight getting it started. What you want to do is you grab this silver piece firmly Grab the grenade section firmly. I like to untwist a little bit, okay, before I start twisting. Don't force it, or you will thread lock this thing and ruin the threads. All right, if you get like the first 2 or 3 times you do that, you'll get a feel for it. It's very easy to do. It's a little bit hard to explain. All right, so now that we've got that locked in, we can hit power again. Now we've got power up here. Auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding the auxiliary button down and hitting the saber. That's how you work that guy. So to put a blade in, you're going to want to grab your emitter right here. This piece up top unscrews. So when we take this off, put it off to the side, you're going to see your blade retention screw is right here. You can see it into the blade socket a little bit. So we'll take that out, back it up just a little bit. You see it sitting in a recessed cup here. So we'll take our recessed blade, put it in. If you're going to have to twist the blade, twist it clockwise. You shouldn't have to twist it though, it goes right in. All right, before we do that, apologies, you're going to want to take this, let me get this back out real quick. You're going to want to take this piece right here, slide it over here like that. Now we put this in to the saber. A little bit easier to do when you're not trying to do it on camera, but come over here, lock down this blade retention. This blade retention has to be locked down super tough, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Let me get through this part. You need to really bite into the blade with that guy because it needs to be out of the way of the threads, so that when you take this and you start screwing it down, you see how mine stops here because my Allen wrench here is a little worn, and I don't want to strip your set screw, so I'm not going to crank down on it, but you will want to crank down on that piece so that you can screw that down all the way. And when you do that, don't screw this down tight. There's no need to do that. Just set it in place. All right, we'll hit power. Twist it around. Turn it off. Ignite. Ignite. And turn it off. All right, so that's showing you that your blade works. Again, I'm not cranking down on this guy because I am long overdue for a new set of these. I just haven't got around to doing that yet. So we'll loosen that up. If you do need to twist your blade, twist it clockwise so that you don't unscrew this cup. It's screwed in there pretty tough, but if you start putting something like a blade in there that's tight and you start trying to unscrew the blade, you might unscrew that too. All right, when you get that out, again, we're gonna put this set screw into the blade socket, just a hair, so it is again out of the way of the threads. Slide this on, but not super tough, just lock it in. You can see your saber's on, but we're going to slide this back, turn on, and flip it off with a kill switch, just like that. All right, and then close this up. But that, Spencer, is how you use your Magic of Myth with your recessed blade. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get this out in the mail to you first thing on Monday. Thanks, man.